Pavlik's story begins on the streets of Youngstown, Ohio. Once a thriving industrial capital, the city now struggles, but the spirit of hard work and perseverance remains.
I put 20 years in a steel mill. Everybody made a living here through the steel mills. Husbands went to work, wives stayed at home. Homes were built and college educations were funded through the mills. Now, they're all gone. No more mills. Nothing, depleted.
I just can't see.
It's a rough area. Youngstown's rough.
You know what the sun's all about when the lights go out.
You learn a lot growing up there. You know, it keeps you down to earth and humble. Everything was just how to go out and earn it yourself.
When brothers Ricky and Mike began spending time at the local Southside gym, 9-year-old Kelly pleaded with his parents to let him follow.
He was a ballsy kid, and he would spar whoever I put him in the ring with, and he took numerous butt kickings.
And I can remember the day that it all turned around. There was no more butt whoopings. Everything stopped.
The kids that were sparring with him all of a sudden wouldn't spar with him. Out of nowhere, he just started knocking people out, dropping people. There was 2 or 3 guys that were carried out on stretchers.
At the age of just 17, he qualified for the 2000 Olympic trials, where he was stopped by an amateur phenom out of Arkansas named Jermaine Taylor.
I'm 25 years old. I'm grown. I have a lot of experience behind me, and I think that's what the difference is going to be now.
Kelly was a baby. Kelly just turned 17 years old. Jermaine was a young man at the time. That's not even nowhere near a fair comparison. If that's what they're leaning on and going on, good. God bless them. I have an asphalt ceiling business, and it's hard, it's tough, it's hot, you know, it's dirty. I'm up at 5:30 in the morning getting ready to go out to work and do some driveways, do some parking lots. Then I'll take a break and I go walk and run Kelly, and then he goes home and I go back out and do driveways till it's time to come to the gym. So yeah, I stay busy.
It's been 16 years since Kelly Pavlik first walked into Jack Lowe's tiny Southside gym. Since then, the two have forged a friendship rarely seen in the sport.
Jack Lowe has been with Kelly since he's been 9 years old. It's almost a father-son relationship now. But he knows what Kelly feels when he's feeling it. He knows what to say to Kelly, what not to say to Kelly. They almost know what each other's thinking.
First thing I remember hearing about Kelly Pavlik, long before I had ever seen him fight, was this kid can punch.
When we were coming up, I mean, I think they put the people in front of him that we were supposed to beat. But I think the way he was beating them surprised a lot of people. You know, he destroys people when he hits them. It's scary sometimes. I've seen him hit guys who are actually pissed herself in the ring. He's a brutal puncher.
Last May, when at 30-0, Pavlik squared off with the formidable Edison Miranda.
They stepped up and took Miranda at a moment when I think there were a lot of other fighters in the division would have said, oh no, anyone but that guy. He told us the day before the fight, said, I'm going to back him up. Now, nobody else backed Edison Miranda up. Edison Miranda was the guy who backed you up.
It took real stones on Pavlik's part. It's one thing to say, I'm going to go in there and push this dangerous puncher backwards, and it's another thing to go in and do it.
Miranda is a bit thrown off by Pavlik coming at him.
I think around the 4th or 5th round, I mean, you just seen discouragement on Miranda's face walking back to his corner.
And Miranda is all but out on his feet as he slumps into the chair. They were both trying to land the big shots that would take the other guy out. And from the beginning, Kelly showed superior craft. He showed greater will. He had a better understanding of what was going on in the ring. And ultimately, he set his man up and he knocked him out. His right eye closing, and this is stoppage time. Kelly Pavlik has a huge knockout victory. It was one of those moments where you don't need more than 10 or 20 seconds of observation to say, oh, I get it. He's a star.
The Miranda knockout marked the most significant victory of Pavlik's career. Amidst the celebration came the predictable onslaught of big-name trainers vying to take over for Jack Lowe. But Pavlik has remained loyal to the only coach he's ever had.
I think a lot of fighters don't know how to stand up for themselves, don't know how to put a stop to that, you know, instead of saying, you know what, where were you guys 5 years ago? I know what got me here. There's no way I'm going to change anything now.
This place, it's tough, you know, nothing's pretty here. Summer it gets hot, you know, it's humid, it's you gotta train, you gotta run in that hot weather. Old steel mills, everything here is just pretty much, not run down, but just cruddy. It keeps you hungry, you know. As where some fighters such as Jermaine. They're up in the Poconos where it's nice and pretty, beautiful scenery. Everything's there that he needs. There's nothing that keeps him hungry up there.
Pavlik has made a deliberate choice to stay in Youngstown. A major factor in Pavlik's decision to train at home is his 15-month-old daughter, Sydney. She lives nearby with her mother, and Pavlik sees her every day.
She's still very young, 15 months, but I think she's slowly, catching on to what I do and, when I'm on TV and seeing me, so.
One family member who won't be watching Kelly is his mother. Debbie Pavlik refuses to watch any of her youngest son's fights as they happen.
My wife is very supportive of Kelly, and she wants to see him do well. She's very proud of him, but she's also terrified of the sport. She's so terrified of the sport that she'll never watch Kelly fight live. Never has watched him, and probably never will.
It's not very fun. It's not a nice thing. You see your kid in the ring and, getting hit, and you worry about him. Even when he's sparring, you're worrying about him.
One thing I think people take when they fight me is that it don't look like I hit that hard on film, or that I'm that strong. And I think once they get in there, that's a big surprise to them.
He pushes 600-pound tires around, bangs sledgehammers off tires. He's just a physical kid.
Anytime I fight, I come to fight. There's no dancing around, there's no taking a break. Even when I get tired, I still throw a shitload of punches, and that's what I'm going to do in this fight.
I just don't believe that there's a middleweight in the world out there that's going to be able to hold on to Kelly and last with Kelly for 12 rounds.